Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Factorio Space Exploration. We are over here, still on Mars. Mars, Anna, however you say things. Marsana. That's where we're at. We're picking right up where we left off, and that we are going to continue clearing out to the right and setting up our processing of these goods here. Now, on that note, I hope I have enough machines and things because I brought extra to do these builds, but not enough because I don't know what I need to do the additional builds. So it'll be interesting. Let's see what it's going to take here. So we're going to run back and we are going to set this up in a way. I would like it to fit somewhere neatly next to this blueprint. Like I said, I want to make them tileable, and so I can just smack each piece down together as we go. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So let's see about where over here we're going to do this. I want to leave a gap, at least, I don't know, probably 12 or so. That's 12 from the furthest machine or structure of this blueprint, so I can have room to move belts and do any kind of weaving that I may need to do. So we need to look at, under the factory planner, what is the final goal? Rocket fuel is not a big deal. We're going to do the rocket fuel how we are in the main blueprint. But let's look at this. We've got to make batteries. We have to make all kinds of things. If we run down and look at this, what are the individual components for each of these things? It's probably a good idea to start with the rocket section, cargo rocket section. We know heat shielding. Heat shielding takes the stone tablet, steel, and some sulfur. Low density structures, glass, copper, all of these easy to do. Rocket control unit. That one is circuits. Okay, so circuit build's definitely going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, so we're going to need lots of circuits. How many green circuits do we need altogether? That would be the interesting thing to look at here. 52 per minute here. And then 80 per minute for the green, or for the blues, excuse me, blue circuits. Are those the only items that are going to use circuits? See, we've got an inserter here. The inserter is going to take circuits. Burner inserters. Down to the engines. Okay. Why is it saying coal? Oh, yes, that's right. Because we need to make sure that we are using the correct assembler in here. And I've also seen, what was it? Hellmod. I noticed one of you commented a while back on one of my videos about that and Factory Planner. And so I might look into putting that in as well, or replacing Factory Planner with Hellmod. I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit more research on it. But right now this is looking pretty good for me. So that's 4 per minute there. Have I missed anything else that might possibly take circuits somewhere? If I just click things down the line. Just keep adding the subcomponents on here. I don't believe so. I think the only items that are going to use the circuits are upgrading circuits themselves to reds and then blues, and then the inserters and the rocket control unit, which is just using the circuits that are upgraded. Yep, alright, so let's figure this out real fast. Oops, that was a little loud, sorry about that. So we need iron gears, but the iron gears are only used to make a couple of components, and that's actually, I just realized we don't have storage tank on here, but that's nothing crazy. I'm trying to look at everything together. The iron chest is just going to be iron. Okay. So the only thing we need the gears for are making motors and upgrading small electric motor. It no longer takes the cylinder motor and then upgrades it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I had to change those recipes back on Novice. Change them around. It's now just crafted by itself. So what I'm going to try and do is some direct insertion, most likely, because we're not going to be able to have a whole lot of these items just sitting on the belt. So I want to make it down into the least, well, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about direct insertion until I get all the way to, say, like the advanced item, like a pump here. But the problem with that is if I put a whole lot of pumps on a line, the pump is made up of a lot of subcomponents. So it's taking one spot on a belt, whereas the components that go into it would take 5 spots on a belt. So that's probably not the most intelligent way to do it. I think a good way to do this would be to leave the belts filled with subcomponents as best as possible. So where is our iron at? Right here. Let's snag a line out. We also need to put one down for steel, but let's look at this. How many of the gears are we going to need? 2 per minute and 4 per minute. So that's one single assembler. One assembler will make enough gears for us. No problem whatsoever. Same thing with most of these things, honestly. So this is not as bad as I was expecting it to be. It looks like the circuits, though, we're going to need a good bit of. So let's figure this out. Maybe I was planning on doing a bus that extends out and then doing vertical production lines, but now that I'm looking at the fact that I'm not going to have very many assemblers, there's no need to do any production lines. You can pretty much just run it off from over here. Our poor power. Are we not? Hold on, wait a minute. Okay. Are we not connected to that power over here? Am I missing something? Why do I not have any power production? We are not. There we go. Well, that will fix a lot of things. Sorry, my Factorio ADD kicking in there as I'm getting distracted. Yeah. Alright. We're going to begin in this area somewhere beyond here. This is my line where I want to keep room for moving belts. And let's look at back to our factory planner. Where do we need these items precisely? I only need fast inserters to make the cargo pods. So let's do something interesting. I'm just going to drop a cargo rocket silo down. And then, oh man, the locking up is bothering me. Let's see. I want to pass into a chest that will then pass into our cargo rocket silo. And this is going to make our cargo rocket sections, not unpacking, right here, normal recipe. So what I need to put into here is going to be cargo pods rocket fuel tanks, each of these items. Let's see, what are we going to do to get those items into here? I want to make these two right next to it and pass them in and probably belt the other items in. So we will put our cargo pods and what are these rocket fuel tanks right next to it. It's going to be making very slow, and honestly all of this is slow. I'll leave this as a stack since it might build up quite a few here, or it will build up quite a few here. And let's look at just expanding it out like so. Now, what do we need in addition to this? Space capsule, which, did I account for that? No, I did not. Okay, so we need to figure that out. We are going to add in a product right here, just one of these. Holy smokes. Alright, so we are going to need solid rocket fuel not being consumed. Here's the thing about this, is we will not stockpile these whatsoever. This is going to be a direct insertion from the assembler, so the assembler will house however many it needs to. I don't know that it stacks more than one. And then we're going to have to do some logic here. This is going to only be active if the space capsule is less than 1. This one's only going to be active if cargo rocket sections are less than 100. As soon as we find them. Cargo rocket sections less than 100. Set. Alright. Looking good. 100. That'll build us a rocket. I love it. So, lots and lots of resources need to come into this point. Storage tanks, pumps, and pipes. If we look at our factory planner after I've clicked on 17 other items, we need pipes in order to make the pump, and we also need pipes in order to make the rocket fuel tank. So what I would like to do then is figure out a way where we can direct insert as much as possible, and that's going to be something along the lines of this. So this will make pipes, pass them here into our rocket fuel tank, and it will make pipes and pass it into the pump constructor, assembler. Let me use the correct terms. And then that can just pass through. That gets me 2 of the items that I need. The other item that I need is going to be a storage tank. And the storage tank, I'm fairly certain, is also only going to be used for this single recipe. So we can squeeze it right in here, and we will longhand it over. And the reason I'm leaving this bit of space here is I might need to bring some belt in to input items right into here on this side, because I also need reds, and I don't know where exactly I'll get the reds into here from. Okay. I'm just building out as we go and looking at whatever I can do that can be single inserted, just direct inserted over. I need my factory planner open, so that gives me everything but the red circuits that I need in order to complete the rocket fuel tank. Now if we look at the cargo pods, which are right here, we need fast inserters and iron chest. And iron chests are also only used right here. We're going to need steel and red circuits, but again, that's its own little ordeal. So, iron chest require only the iron. And then, what was the other item? Fast inserters. Fast inserters are going to require multiple inputs. Maybe we should put them here. I don't know. We'll see. We might flip this around. We're going to be bringing iron in. Then we need inserters. The inserters can be direct and inserted. Same thing with our burners. So, I will need small electric motors coming into here. We are just going to pass each of these through and into here. It's looking a little odd. Maybe we'll do some concrete work under it eventually, or slightly shift things, but I want to get everything ironed out the way I'm going to have it, and then I'll shift stuff around. I have bots to do that. So, is that everything for the cargo pod? Yep, except for base resources. Now let's work our way back. We need steel, iron, and then some circuits coming over here. Yep, that's what we're looking at right here. Oh, and small electric motors are going to be used in both of these areas. So the small electric motors are going to go into making our inserters, and they're going to go into making the pumps. So they're going to be used right up here and right down here. So we should probably make them somewhere nearby, but not in the way. Let's give it 2 assembly machines worth of space. And where are these small electric motors? What tab? They've changed a few things since I updated, so there's that. That's going to be used here. This is going to use small cylinder engines. Is anything else using that? So if I look here, it does not appear to be so. Only the burner inserters use these. So we can direct insert into the burner insert factory, the assembler, right here. This will be the single cylinder, I said small, single cylinder engine. Alright, and actually I can move this up 1 because I think these are the only 2 items that required our gears. The single cylinder and this engine are the only 2 that required gears, because that takes iron sticks right here. This takes iron sticks and single cylinder engines. Alright, looking interesting. This will take iron input, which we will just use fast inserters for now. And then the iron will need to go also into an assembler making sticks for this. And again, the whole reason I'm doing as much direct insertion as I am is not to make it look ridiculous. It's to prevent the waste of resources like I spoke earlier. If my belt, let's do a little bit of visual. If my belt is holding, let's pick something like the pumps. Right? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there on that one side right now. Well, that's 5 items. Now, the pump itself is made from, let's take a look because I don't remember, there's so many recipe changes. A steel, 2 pipes, and 2 small electric motors. That's 5 items. So if I put 5 items, I don't have those 5 items exactly. So we will just say, what's something I can put on there? Why don't you like the belt? There's 5 items. Right? And those 5 items is what it costs to make 1 pump. So I have less resources on the belt keeping the primary goods such as the steel and other items on a belt than I do making it all the way up into the most advanced part and having a giant belt of those. And seeing as how the amount of resources is highly limited in our very slow core mining setup, I want to make sure that I am not using them incorrectly. Another advantage of this is I don't build up 200 fast inserters and only 10 iron chests, and then I have all those extra resources in the inserter here. All that iron plate went into the inserter, and so this iron chest is sitting and waiting forever for iron. Meanwhile, our cargo pods aren't being made because this isn't being made. Now, the way I do with direct insertion, this will build until its internal buffer fills, which is usually a small amount, and then the resources will continue down the line to the next one until it's made. So you can't have a giant buffer of items, and it should, I'm going to say that again, should, in theory, prevent a whole lot of buffering imbalance in the build. This is not something that I do very often, because I usually just would slap down 500 miners on an iron patch and copper patch. It's never been I need to build for a small flow of resources. It's always just mine half the planet so I can make a giant build. That's what I want to do. But that's not what we're doing here. So in order to deal with that, we will take as much of this as we can. So now we're looking at, we need iron here. Did we need iron here? No. So this is going to be past. This needs iron. So can we reach, how far can we reach? To right there. And no, we don't want to do that though, because we need iron here as well. I also need green circuits in this. So we may do something along the lines of this right here. And that could be where green circuits come in, and then this needs nothing but iron. And we know this needs iron, this needs iron here for our gears. This also needs our iron. You know, we're kind of getting a little lucky with our setup. Completely planned this out. This is all thought out so well. And you're catching it on camera right now. It's amazing. Look at how good I am at planning. We need iron right in here and here as well. So let's figure out where we would do that at. Probably past it. I want to use undergrounds as much as possible. This will take iron, and this will take iron and steel. I'm probably going to pass the steel in right here, or I might come in through here. We'll see. For now, I will leave that long-handed inserter there. Also, we're going to need a lot of pipes for multiple items, so let's go ahead and put a stack inserter there. Oh, you know, I'm not thinking about how I'm going to power all of this. See if I can sneak power in neatly. I guess that gives me good power coverage here. I can't wait to get the bigger pylons and other items. We'll have to revisit our blueprints at a later date in order to fix up things once I have better buildings at my disposal. How far can we go? all the way to there. It's a good stretch. Okay. So it's safe to say that we're going to need an awful lot of iron. I'm wanting to come straight down from here, underground as much as possible. So that's going to change the barrier of where our build begins, and that's fine. I threw that number of 12 squares over arbitrarily. That's not any kind of mathed out number, so this will be fine. This brings our iron in, and then if I need to branch iron off anywhere else, I can do that. So let's have a look at what we have going on here now. We're going to be missing some resources to complete some of these items, and we'll have to plug those in. This is going to get burner inserters, so we won't have any of these yet. We need copper cable here. And I know we're going to use copper cable also in circuits, lots of circuits. So 24 items per minute. It's likely a good idea to simply branch copper off over here and direct insert into this machine. We'll find it any minute now, and then click the wrong recipe. That's perfect. There. This doesn't need to be a stack inserter. Okay. Now we're going to need to come out of this item. So actually, let's put it at the lowest possible point so I have room to take out of here and split to go down right here and up to here. So let's do that. This is my output. We're going to might be able to be sneaky and do something like this. This allows me to utilize one belt, no splitters, and simply come right through here. We need to get steel into this and into this. After we get copper here, I think the best way to do that would be to simply underground like so. We're going to leave a little bit of room here. I would say probably a gap of 3 tiles, and this can be moved if necessary. But I would like trying to figure out where this is going to be placed. That's my copper output. Everything's frozen, and that is because we have backed up in our cryonite rods. That's a beautiful sight, I'm telling you. How is it flowing? We're looking good there so far. The only difference here is that, again, this will build all it needs first before any flow down, but because we're doing direct insertion, that shouldn't be a problem. And it will be a small amount of buffer here in between them. There's not a really good way to do this unless you build a bot setup, and I honestly like the little spaghetti setup we have going on here. It's neat. Okay. Well, we are running out of time, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it and you want to hit that like button, I do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed and you're watching my videos, I would love it if you subscribed. I really would. It is reassuring to me that making this content is worthwhile to see when you guys subscribe and or comment and like on my videos. I do appreciate all that, and as always, I will see you all next time.